All right, you win. Hand over the money. This thing is all yours.
Well done. Some high-pressure tactics, but we got what we were after. Time to go home, shall we?
Oh no. You. Slayton really does have a sick sense of humor. Justice for some, huh? Fine. Rather be caged than dead.
It seems you will have plenty of time to evaluate that sentiment while you are in jail.
I will make the arrangements for Neon Security to take him into custody. You're free to leave.
Time to go. Let's talk more back at the ship. All in all, a great success. Thank you for allowing me to tag along with Constellation's newest star.
Complete.
You hold something you have no right to. My people have killed for this. But I will offer you one chance to hand over the artifact and turn away from this path.
你这飞船还挺别致哎。
That's not any type of ship I recognize.
说出你们的身份。
The fact that you do not know says much. We are the Starborn, and you are unworthy to possess the artifacts.
Tell us, please. What are the artifacts? What are they for? Did you make them? What gives you more right to them than humanity?
Answering your questions is exactly what we cannot allow. Abandon your thirst for knowledge or drown in it.
至少向我们透露一些你的身份。
The more you understand, the more damage you will do.
How could just knowing what you are be dangerous?
Our distance from you is the whole point. We interfere now because we must.
别无选择。
I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the scans. Energy output from that ship is far above the normal range. If we spin up the grav drive now,
好的。
we have a chance.
还是润吧。走。
We'll get through this. Hold on.
哎呦，我热了啊！热，快走！哦吁，快跑！肯定打不过。
Still getting used to this place. Does not quite feel like home, but hopefully someday.
回来了。
How is Neon? Are you okay?
还好。轨道里有出现任何可疑的飞船吗？
No.
我需要你看一下我的飞船传感器获取到的数据。
Okay. I'll start transferring the data over now. Let me just bring it up on here at the table. Is that a prototype? No, that material isn't anything we... What the... Everyone, come take a look at this.
集合。
That's no faction vessel or Crimson Fleet.
穿模了。
Secret military tech, maybe?
等我换个
No
地方。
United Colonies Admiral approved that starship design.
They call themselves the Starborn. Demanded we hand over the artifact. Like we were children, playing with their precious things.
What do people know? Any offshoot groups go by that name?
Not in any corner of the settled systems I've seen. Maybe a distant human colony finally popping its head up. Another house for room.
I very much doubt that.
We ignoring the obvious here? A heretofore unknown group who just happens to know about the artifacts. I'm just gonna say it. Intelligent alien
外
life
星智
or
慧生命，
extra-dimensional beings. The
反
original
正都有可
creators
能，
from
我
the
感觉。
furthest fringes of space.
Or beyond even that. Is the metaphor of
不愁天
avenging
使。
angels coming down to keep humanity from forbidden knowledge not apt here?
So, we have a lot of theories, but nothing concrete.
啊，是
Except that
的。
they're after the artifacts, and they're willing to take them by force.
他们表现的像是在批判我们。
Or what Walter said. They were acting like a parent, worried their children are playing with something they don't understand.
是的。
So, they're strong-arming us for our own good?
为了我们好。
Doesn't sound very divinely benevolent to me.
Noel, start analyzing all the data from the ship sensors. The gravitational wave they caused, scans of their weapons, shields, everything. We're in the dark. We need to learn anything about them we can, including some way to fight them if necessary. Until then, we stay the course, collect the artifacts.
要小心啊。
It's even more important now that an intelligence we don't know or understand is looking for them.
要寻找他们沟通吗？
That ship could be anywhere in deep space. Even if we got lucky, a single grav jump and we'd lose them.
确实，同意。只有继续前进，我们才能了解更多。
All we can do is be more cautious. But we are not stopping. This could end up being a race we don't want to lose. Vladimir, has the eye picked up anything new?
Some glints of shine in the dark.
新的
Ready to
神殿
hand them
吗？
out as soon as you please.
All right. Good luck, everyone. And be careful out there.
好的。将神器加入收藏。把神器加入收藏吧。嘿。
I'd like to talk to you about something. A chance.
I wanted to talk to you, but honestly, I don't know where to begin.
您说
The Starborn's technology is simply astonishing. It's just
确实信息量很大，
almost too much to process.
所以你从来没碰到过像他们一样的存在。
Of course not. No one has. If an encounter with this level of importance had occurred in the past, I assure you that Constellation would be well acquainted with it.
只能是说把你吓坏了。
Yes, I suppose I am. But you can hardly blame me, can you?
我当然不会了。
You do understand the significance of this encounter, don't you? This is humankind's first contact with what I believe is an alien race.
是的。
A race with technology that could be far superior to our own. Oh, we could learn so much from them.
你觉得他们会愿意教导我们吗？
The way they behaved, I'd say that's not very likely.
我也觉得。
If we are to learn anything from the Starborn, we're going to have to take the initiative ourselves.
是的，我认为他们不愿意教给我们任何东西。
That's what disturbs me. Can't be a coincidence that these Starborn suddenly appeared after your experience at that temple. We know they're here to lay claim to the artifacts, but what's their true motivation? What aren't they telling us?
他们可能有个秘密计划，这点让人担心。
It's very disturbing, especially with all of that cutting-edge technology at their disposal.
是啊。
Damn. Oh, if only we knew more about the Starborn. What their species is like, where they're from, how they're able to speak our language. I feel like a cadet on my very first day aboard a spaceship. My mind is absolutely swimming with questions.
我觉得它有可能是某种外星生物体。
Obviously. But there has to be more to these beings than simply originating from another world. Their name alone, Starborn. There's some type of hidden meaning there. Something that feels very old, perhaps even ancient. Whatever the case may be, I can assure you that Constellation intends to get to the bottom of this mystery.
他们为什么要叫自己新裔？
I'm not really sure. Scientifically speaking, we're all born from the stars. Most of the chemical components of our body, carbon, oxygen, sulfur, are exactly the same as those manufactured by internal stellar reactions. Now, ask someone like Matteo the same question, and he'd probably give a more theological answer. But hey, it's all a guessing game anyway.
我们应该谨慎地对待超出我们理解的事物。
To a degree, yes. Every bit of exploration comes with inherent risk.
很危险。
If we continue to avoid life's mysteries, we'll barely make progress as a species.
我会陪着你。
Thank you. I really appreciate your support right now. You know, it's funny. When I was a little girl, I'd lay on the ground and stare up at the stars. I was absolutely convinced they held a secret. I'd remain there for hours in silence, eyes closed, listening, waiting for the secret to be whispered in my ear. This encounter with the Starborn, is that moment to me. The stars are finally whispering. And I need to hear what they have to say.
你需要了解到些什么？
Truthfully, I haven't the slightest idea. But just the thought that any of the secrets of the universe could be revealed from these Starborn is terribly exciting.
我们会帮你实现的，我保证。
I knew I could count on your support. Well then, I've certainly wasted enough of your valuable time.
没事，可以多
Just
相处
do
会
be careful if you cross paths with these Starborn in the future.
好的。
I wouldn't want to lose one of the most valuable members of Constellation.
Never would I have imagined to encounter something like these Starborn.
是啊。
Now I feel that rather than having answers, we only have more questions.
非常不可思议，对吧？
Yes, by any meaning of the word. Regardless of how impossible they may have seemed before now, I must say that I do not like being threatened by anyone.
没人能阻止我们，我们已经走到了这一步。
I agree we should keep looking for answers, but clearly we must be cautious. Clearly these Starborn are connected to the artifacts, which would mean that they are also connected to that temple you found. Did they make these things? Have they appropriated them?
不知道啊。
This all implies there is something more, something we do not yet understand.
你不是在担心吧？
I am never worried. Cautious, perhaps. It has always been necessary to prepare for the unexpected. This is just a bit more unexpected than usual. It seems to be how things go here in
那确
Constellation.
实是，我们得找到关于这些神器的更多情报，他们是我们仅有的线索。
You are right. And it would seem that if we do, we may well cross paths with these Starborn again.
肯定会再次碰
We
面
will
的
need。to be on our guard from now on. They seem to know much about us. Perhaps we can learn more about them to make it even.
是啊。
We should return to our search then. There's still so much to do.
I have to talk about the Starborn. Do you have a second?
有啊。
You do, right?
你对他有什么看法？
It was awesome,
我也想来跟你谈谈这件事。
right? How could we not talk about it for the rest of our lives?
是啊。
It could be the dawn of a new era of humanity. Or it could be an elaborate prank or any number of mundane explanations.
他们绝对是外星人。
Well, they were definitely unusual, but aliens seem so inhuman, obviously. I just have so many questions.
说。
We just need more data. There has to be a way to draw them out and figure out where they're coming from.
我们知道他们想什么，那一定有什么特殊意义。
It's one of our few facts about them. It seemed very important to them, too.
是的。
This could be a turning point for humanity, you know?
I know.
Or it could be just the emergence of a powerful new faction or some sort of elite military
或
tech
许。
or a gazillionaire with nothing else to do. All we know is that they wanted that artifact badly.
他们想要神迹的原因很重要吗
It's？ possible we've misinterpreted their actions or that they were under duress.
不知道啊
We，should remain cautious with them, but I think we should leave the door open to communication.
我得搞清楚他们动机是什么。
Agreed. That is going to require more observations, more encounters with them. And who knows? Maybe we'll never see them again.
Late at night in dive bars, sometimes the old-timers share stories. About things they've seen that they just couldn't explain. Ghost stories, if you will. I've heard of things like the Starborn before.
哦，你听说过？
But they're real. Honest to God, real.
我亲眼所见都有点难以置信。
I genuinely considered mass hysteria, but the sensor logs confirm it. It's real.
是的。
So the obvious question is, what the hell are they?
是啊，他们是什
Everyone's gonna
么？
be thinking aliens, but maybe not.
不知道。
Their ships were incredible, but they still felt like ships. They had engines, weapons. I think I even made out a grav drive.
观察挺
If
细
they。were really alien, I would just expect it to be more alien, you know? I mean, it could be some secret Freestar Varun or UC tech, but I don't know.
你真的以为其中一个派系会有这种科技？
I mean, anything's possible.
确实皆有可
But
能
if。someone, anyone, had that much of an edge on the others, the whole balance of power would shift, right?
是
It'd
啊
be，one hell of a conspiracy to keep it quiet. An even greater amount of restraint to keep it in your back pocket.
同意。他们也不是特别像外星人。
Exactly. I'm gonna throw out another wild stab in the dark theory.
你说？
Maybe they're from outside our known systems. Here's the hypothetical. Centuries ago, some brainiac scientists decide to play settler. But they go way, way beyond any place we've ever been to set up stakes. Once they get there, they make a few lucky breakthroughs, and their science just snowballs from there. I could see them getting further, faster, and hence become the Starborn.
听起来有那种可能性，或许事实就是这样 ，Sam。
If I got it right, then you owe me a steak dinner.
好啊。
One way or the other, we are not alone. And that's both exciting and terrifying.
你真的认为新翼会是类似于复仇天使的存在？
There's certainly precedent, isn't there? We've been operating for a while now on the fringes of what humans, know and understand. Why rule anything out?
是啊。
I just think we should be open-minded, keep everything on the table.
你说的对，我们不应该做任何假设。
It's just like the artifacts. The more we learn, the more we can start narrowing things down. It's the argument I have with Walter every other week. Science and reason have their place, but so does faith. We have all of them at our disposal, and I don't for 1 second believe they're mutually exclusive.
在那次新翼伏击之后，你还好吗？
Not my first time in a hostile negotiation, as you well know. Admittedly, I usually know more about who I'm facing off against. I'm very interested in what Noel can learn from the scans. The technology on that ship was impressive, to say the least.
是啊。
If there's a chance, we could learn enough to duplicate some of it.
这才是我熟悉的企业家嘛。
I got to where I am by taking advantage of opportunities, no matter where I find them. Might as well make the most of this crazy situation.
关于这些所谓的新翼有什么现存的记录吗？
Although my database of human history is not fully complete, it is quite extensive. At this time, I am unable to locate any valid references, given the unusual nature of the encounter. It is reasonable to surmise that any earlier occasions would have been documented. One explanation is that this is the first time they have been discovered. An alternate explanation is that prior encounters resulted in 0 survivors to document the experience.
如果他们想打架，我们就奉陪。
Their motives have yet to be clearly established. Given the initial scans of their vessel, caution is advised. They do seem to be quite capable of defending themselves.
你对新翼怎么看？
Find myself thinking of the fleet. You know you can take a mark. You don't open comms. It's all storm and fire and sifting the wreckage after it's over. But if you're not so sure, you play the bully's gambit. Hope they don't challenge the threats you throw at them. Sound familiar?
你是想说他们其实在虚张声势？
Thoughts taking a stroll through my mind is all. A striker lurking in the shadows has good reason to hide.
是的。
Won't be easy to drag them into the light.
We've always considered ourselves explorers, but this really is uncharted territory, isn't it?
你对新翼有什么想法吗？
You mean what could be the biggest discovery in the history of humanity? Yeah, I've got some thoughts.
说。
Scans are still inconclusive, but I think we've seen enough to know that we're dealing with something potentially even more unusual than the artifacts.
是啊。
There are so many questions beyond just who are they? How did they find you? How do they know about the artifacts? Why has no one ever seen them before?
别担心，我们会找到答案。
They did openly threaten you, as I understand it. I'd say that's something to worry about.
那确实
It
要
was
担
one
心。
thing when this was just about us investigating the artifacts.
是啊。
A weird phenomenon that didn't come with creepy threats or questions about aliens or whatever it is that's going on now. I know we'll figure it all out in the end. It's just kind of a lot right now.
那个关于塞巴斯蒂安·班克斯的演讲。
Oh, right. I was afraid you were going to bring that up again. Very well. let's see if I embarrass myself or not. My colleagues, I venture out into the darkness of space once again. Many of you have expressed concern. At my age, you say, surely the risks are too great. Surely Sebastian Banks has earned a rest. Nonsense, I say. To go out into the unknown, to brave the possibility of never coming back, to ignite the spark of hope that humanity will find answers out there in the stars, that is all I have ever wanted. If this last expedition is my time, then I say, I have been fortunate. I have been fortunate to leave, surrounded by people who could not be more different from one another, but who share a common purpose. That, dare I say, I am fortunate my soul has a home it can always come back to. And that was the last thing Sebastian Banks ever said in the lodge before he disappeared. And Constellation has been waiting for him to come home ever since.